These are my 5 top quarterbacks in this 2019 NFL draft class. Number 1, I have Dwayne Haskins. And number 2, I have Kyler Murray. And these two kind of go a little bit hand in hand. They're kind of in a tier all to themselves. Haskins, sophomore, 6'3", 220 pounds. Kyler Murray, redshirt junior, 5'9", 5'10". If from all indications, he's going to be right at that 5 to 10 mark. 190, 185 pounds. I have him, Oklahoma listed him at 195. I'll be curious to see what he weighs in at the combine. But those two guys are at the top tier. And I so want to put Kyler Murray as my number 1 quarterback. But I think it's just because he's so exciting and his wow plays and him running around that gets you going. But when you break down the tape, and Dwayne Haskins is kind of your pocket passer. He's not going to, unless you're Stephen A. Smith, you think he's not going to be running around the place making plays. He's going to sit in the pocket and make throws. And I think part of you wants to say, oh, I like Kyler Murray because he's so exciting. But Dwayne Haskins at this point, I think is the better pro prospect. He's bigger, which is not an end all be all, but he's got that ability to stay in the pocket. He's got that ability to move around enough in the pocket and shed some blocks. He's kind of got that Jameis Winston, Ben Roethlisberger type of physicality where it's tough to just bring him down with the sack. He's got Dwayne Haskins. He's got tremendous, touch down the field, and he can drive the ball. You watch the Washington game, and his ability to manipulate, and he's looking off defenders, and he's throwing the ball, he's throwing touch on intermediate to deep passes. He's the biggest concern I had for him going into the season was the fact that throughout the season he didn't have great anticipation. And the ball, especially on those crossing routes, the ball would be kind of behind guys. And as the season went on, the more I watched the tape, he got better at that. So I think his ability to throw the ball, his ability to, run that offense, he can lead that offense. He doesn't need necessarily elite guys. He's not I'm just gonna manage everything. He's gonna make plays. And I think that's what puts him number 1. Just behind him, as I said, was Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, like I said before, tremendous athlete, skilled. He's got touch. He's got accuracy. He's got the ability to throw with anticipation. He's got the ability to, put touch down the field. He's got it all. The big concern about him is not only his height to an extent. I'm not as concerned about his height, but you got to wonder with his size. Is how big, how bulky is he going to be? Can he get up to 200 pounds? If he's at 200 pounds, can he still be as explosive with that? I remember Deshaun Watson was like 215 coming out a couple years ago, and people were saying, was he too thin? So just kind of something to kind of keep an eye on. I think, like I said, they are so close. I just give Haskins a little bit of an edge just because I think his game translates a little bit better. And I love Kyler Murray. I was so excited when he decided to go all in on football, but he still has some question. That size is an issue, and we can't get wowed completely by all these running around and exciting plays. But and I think that may sometimes push us to want to put him number 1, but I think Dwayne Haskins is the better quarterback. As I mentioned, Haskins reminds me a lot of Jameis Winston, big, physical quarterback, a guy that can drive the ball down the field, franchise-level quarterback. Kyler Murray, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Patrick Mahomes, a little bit of probably more Russell Wilson. He's got that ability and that's the thing about Kyler Murray is he can run around and make these plays. He never takes big hits. You never see him get drilled. He's always sliding. He always knows how to get down. I love that baseball aspect of his game. Same thing with Russell Wilson. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. That ability to have that baseball background, sliding, diving, and all that, he knows how to get away from those big hits. His ability to also throw off target. If you're playing baseball, you're a second baseman, third baseman, any infielder position except for first, you're going to have to throw off balance and make tough throws. And he's able to do that. He doesn't have to have his feet set underneath of him. He's got that arm strength. He's got that accuracy that he developed playing baseball. So those are my top two guys. Number 3 and number 4 is my next tier. I have Daniel Jones right down number 3, and I have Drew Lock number 4. And I think those two are grouped together. Daniel Jones is your prototypical, pocket quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins. He's got that, he doesn't have the huge arm. He's not going to drive the ball down the field, but he throws with tremendous accuracy. He throws with good touch and anticipation. He can win downfield with throws, but he's going to win downfield by anticipating where that receiver is going to be and then putting the ball with nice touch. He's able to bucket throw those balls into the receivers down the sideline. Go watch his Temple tape from the bowl game. One of the first plays, one of the first drives of that game, he just throws a perfect bucket pass to one of his receivers running down the sideline for a long gain. His short to intermediate accuracy is good. He's not a bad athlete. He's not going to be a Kyler Murray, but he's definitely got that ability to get out of trouble, to throw on the run. You can put him on some bootleg action. And then those quick hitters. He's a cerebral guy. If you go and check out my prospect breakdown of him, the film breakdown, he's doing all the cerebral things. He's looking off defenders. He's seeing guys pre-snap, and he's winning that way. And that's what he's going to have to do in the NFL is win before the snap. He's going to have to read those defenses and make the route, make the appropriate throws. And I think he can develop into a guy like Kirk Cousins who, I wouldn't say Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback, but he's a franchise quarterback. He's a guy that can lead his team to the playoffs. We've seen that already. And even push him even further. He's got to have some weapons around him. Kirk Cousins has that right now, and Thielen and Diggs. But you got to build a team around him, but he can definitely lead them there. Drew Lock, I want to put him ahead at times of Daniel Jones, but the fact that Jones has got that cerebral aspect, that's so hard to teach. Drew Lock has the physical traits. He's got effortless power down the field. When he drops back and throws a deep ball, he's able to just go back and just let it loose and it's gone. You can't teach that. On short to intermediate routes, he's able to just laser that ball into defender or to the receivers. He does show good timing and accuracy. There's crossing routes. You go watch the video I did on him where he's throwing crossing routes. They're right on target. His receivers are coming across the field. They don't really even have to adjust. Now, this may seem crazy, but one of the players that I've seen him mocked or compared to, and I see it stylistically, I don't see it talent level, is Patrick Mahomes. If you just watch the two play, they play in a very similar style. They both got big arms. They both are, I'd say Patrick Mahomes is a lot better athlete. Drew Lock's not a bad athlete, don't get me wrong. But they're moving. Drew Lock likes to kind of switch up his arm slots, and he'll throw it sidearm one time. He'll throw it regular. He kind of has a three-quarters motion where it looks like he's kind of whipping it, but he has that ability, that freelance ability. Now, I don't think he's got the deep field touch and the insane arm that Patrick Mahomes has, and that's his biggest concern. When he throws it deep, it seems like he's either on or it's off. There's too many times where he's got a guy beat and it's underthrown, or it's thrown towards the sideline. And that's what has him as my 4th rated quarterback compared to maybe my 3rd or even possibly up in that 2nd or 1st classification. Number 5, I think I'm a little bit higher on him than most, and that's Will Grier from West Virginia. Here's a guy that's started his career at Florida. He's 6'2", 214 pounds. Reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield in that he's a kind of a shorter, squattier guy. He's able to move around and just throws with good accuracy. He doesn't have the huge arm, but once again, he shows good ball placement. He's got guys like Gary Jennings and David Sills who he's been able to put up huge numbers with them at West Virginia in kind of that air raid type offense. And I'm like, okay, I'll see him, and I'm like, okay, what am I? You know, I'm higher on him than others. What am I missing? And then he just makes plays, and he knows how to throw with good ball placement. Arm strength not going to be great, but he, like I said, kind of similar to Daniel Jones, he knows where to put the ball, and he can make those throws based off of that. So I think he's a guy that maybe he's not a high end starter in the league. Maybe he's just a backup. Future, just a good solid backup. But I think he's got a spot in this league, and he's definitely one of the top quarterbacks in that third type tier.